Hello.
Hey!
Hi.
Not great. Not great.
He was not ready for the accent.
Off to a good start now.
Yeah. Hi, guys.
Welcome to Unsought Opinions with the Boys.
Steve, I don't think we got your guitar again on the intro. Just before we hit record.
I'm already tired of that joke there.
What joke?
The guitars?
The guitar joke. Anyway.
I hate the accent. Can I just go on record?
We can stop.
Yeah.
Welcome to Unsought Opinions with the Boys. Dan is out for reasons unknown.
I know him, but I'm not going to tell you guys.
Well, I know him. I didn't want to divulge it to you guys.
Send your thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
And check out his GoFundMe.
Yeah.
We'll post it in the show notes.
We got Ben Dub, we got Luke, and myself here this week, and we are going to muscle ahead.
Mosey on through.
No Stewart, so no research team.
Well, you got your research team right on your elbow there.
I think we have the
it's rude.
We got the offsite team taking care of it, right? New York.
I'm hearing it in my. You guys get it?
Yeah, I got it.
They're in your headphones.
Yeah.
What?
You got.
How come I'm always behind?
How we doing, guys?
Oh, pretty good.
Doing
pretty
good.
Yeah.
So it's been another week.
Another week.
That it has.
How are you progressing?
Don't talk about my foot.
Are you back at work?
I'm about to be. I have to do physical therapy that I'm waiting on workers' comp schedule. It's boring. Let's move on. I'm walking.
How soon until you get to work?
I don't know because workers' comp takes forever to schedule stuff.
That must be terrible to get a paycheck and not go to work. I can't imagine
sucks.
what that's like.
It's not bad, but I'm ready to go back to work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm intentionally trying to step off the reins to see what you're gonna do, and you're just comfortable with silence.
Oh, I'm very comfortable with silence. But I also want to know something. And I was thinking about this all week, and I was curious what the answer would be. So I'm going to ask each of you individually. Steve, how was your week? Good grief. I don't know if that's going to come through as loud as it just came through our heads.
Sorry, everyone. That is fixed now. We should be good.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep, I'm getting confirmation. They're fixing it as we speak.
All right, good. So all right, 3, 2, 1, resume. Okay, my week was good. I mean, work's been crazy busy, which is awesome.
Hey, I saw you driving one time this week.
Did you really?
Sure did.
Was it in town or
just that?
Also, I just want to go on the record and say that if Luke sees you driving, it's quite possible that he didn't see you driving. He thought he saw me on my motorcycle the other day.
Yeah, that's true.
Luke, I don't even have a motorcycle.
I'm pretty sure that was you.
Yeah,
I think it was.
It could have been. It could have been.
Dude, it was brutal. My son's soccer season is finishing up, and
brutal.
It was like the play-in tournament or something. There's only
brutal, dude.
4 teams in their division or whatever to win the championship. So they play this team and they beat them. And so they're going to the championship now for their soccer, and they were pumped. And then we got an email the next day, and they're like, hey, you played because my kids go to a private Christian school, and they got an email saying, hey, you let a homeschooler play on your team for this game, and so now you're disqualified. So they got to the championship, then were promptly removed from the championship.
Oh, my
That's
goodness.
Terrible.
So it's it's just kind of brutal.
That's dumb, though.
It sounds like the person who's in charge is a parent of one of the kids on the losing team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's for
tattletales, faux show.
Also, are they not allowed to have homeschoolers anymore?
So you can I found this out because I did a deep dive, but you can have homeschoolers for non-division games. But the team that we were playing was in our 4-person division.
Dude, so they're just worried about homeschoolers being heavy hitters, huh?
And they just
Hopefully they don't find out that I was on a lot of those championship teams.
It might be
16 years ago.
The Willoughbys were the perfect example of
19 years ago
bringing in the homeschoolers.
Yeah.
Did you ever get interest? Never mind. I'm not going to bring up actual school names and stuff
whatever.
from other private schools, or was it only?
Oh no.
Oh, okay. There's one that's pretty close to where you're at, in Flint Hill area.
Cool. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, who? Let's try to figure out which one that is by not naming it perfectly. Is that the one on the left there?
Yeah, exactly. You're 3 miles down the road there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of a bummer, but it was also nice that it's like, okay, well, soccer's over now, so he's starting basketball soon, which I enjoy basketball.
What an
more.
athlete,
Soccer
man.
stinks. Sorry.
Yeah. And he's also
crushing
doing hockey.
Shout out to Peter, friend of the show.
He wanted to be on.
Hey,
the,
does he have any questions for us?
He didn't. Come
He should
up
have
with
been
any.
on the pod today.
He wanted to be on the podcast tonight, and I said, no, dude, it's a school night. You need to.
We were
Also,
not included in that
Luke
decision,
might talk
Peter.
about inappropriate mood rings.
Dude, that
Give it
was.
time.
I just picked one. I didn't know.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty bummed about that.
Luke, how was your week?
Yeah.
Or do you have more?
No, I was going
okay.
to throw it over to Luke.
Yeah, Luke.
It was good. My wife and her friends and our friends
easy.
went to some like, I guess the modern term now they're saying is crunchy. Have you heard that?
Dude,
Terrible.
Dude, you need to tread lightly.
Horrible term.
Do you know? Do you know what he's talking about right now?
I don't know what crunchy is.
Oh, dude,
He's losing it. I think it means like,
you wouldn't believe it.
dude, you're throwing me off. It just means that they're like super organic.
Yeah, they're like.
They like to make their own butter or something or sourdough. So it was like a
Is there an alarm
conference.
going?
Somebody's getting a phone call.
We're gonna break the right now.
Nice.
Maybe we won't
3,
break. That was
2.
pretty easy. That's a pretty easy solve.
So I have an alarm on my phone every night, and usually behind
Smart.
the curtain, we I don't want to fall asleep.
It's a good move. Right in the middle of a pod time.
Usually we record on Tuesday nights, so I have
Maybe.
it turned off on that night, and now we're recording on a different night, and I forgot to turn.
We
it off.
might be.
So I apologize to everyone that may
Dude,
have
easy letting people know when we record.
been part of that.
They can just sabotage us.
We can beep it out.
Anyway, they went to this like gathering for a bunch of moms that are into making sourdough and stuff. Yeah, and it was really boring for the husbands. So
Oh, you had to go?
and watch children. That was terrible.
Did you get like an Airbnb or were you in a hotel?
Airbnb,
Where was it?
Pennsylvania? It's
Amish
terrible.
country?
Yeah,
Yeah.
horrible time. I mean, it's fine.
I can't.
It was
tell.
nice for the women.
It actually sounds amazing.
No, it was. I mean,
Really?
we hung out at a park literally all day.
Dude,
Ooh.
that sounds incredible.
Not if you have a 6-month-old child.
That sounds even better, dude.
It was you and Dan and Brandon?
And
Who's Brandon?
Gabe, another guy.
Oh, okay.
Brandon is Daniel's
Brother-in-law.
brother-in-law. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Love Brandon.
Yeah.
friend of the show. He's
Not
a
a listener.
big supporter. Well,
No,
he's
he
a
doesn't.
financial donor. He's not a supporter.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We were playing volleyball with him one day, and I'm just like slinging jokes left and right, and like Dan's middle sister is like laughing her head off, and her husband's laughing. They're loving it, and Brandon the whole time is just staring at us. He's like, "I want to laugh, I just don't understand why that's funny."
I love Brandon for that reason.
He's the best.
He's great. I
We're
love
on
him.
different wavelengths, and it kills
and
me.
he's so honest about it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, he's friend of the show.
Ben,
The worst. I had to. I had to replace my roof.
Oh yeah, heard about.
how's that
this.
coming?
Finished today.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got tired, and I was like, I'm hiring somebody.
No.
So he came and just put the shingles on for me.
Okay.
Good.
Was it
Yeah.
just shingles, or did you have to do any plywood or anything?
I had to do 7 sheets of plywood. Yeah, it was actually kind of a bummer.
Geez, so you were crushing it.
How were
Yeah.
you? Were you working on it by yourself?
A lot of it I was there alone, but I had a decent amount of help after church on Sunday. And then my 2 brother-in-laws crushed it. I had a part of the job, but it was like a 2-man thing, and they did definitely the hard part,
Nice.
and it was awesome.
That's
they're
cool.
they're MVPs.
I
They
was
know,
gonna say-
they're listeners, and you know who you are.
We're not going to say your names for
Oh,
obvious
dude,
reasons.
I did something really similar. I cleaned my gutters.
Dude, nice. I didn't actually have to. The guy I hired showed up, and by the time I even got there, he was there before me.
Gutters were gone.
Yeah, he like cleaned them out.
He
I was like,
stole
"Dude,
them."
You're the man.
Yeah, dude. I need to, if you know anybody or if you guys have a taller ladder, clean the front gutters, can't clean
Of
the
this
back
house?
gutters. Yeah. I need like a 20-footer.
Yeah, you do.
Can you not just get on the roof and
I did
walk
that
over?
last time and I almost died. I don't feel like
That's fair.
breaking anything.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's fine.
how Yeah. Wait. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, he's got a
Yeah.
very shallow roof.
Yeah. What do you got? Like a 412 or whatever?
Yeah, dude.
I think it might actually be 12.4. I'm not sure.
I think it's 412. I don't know.
I don't know what that
Yeah,
means.
I don't know which number goes where. So
I just know it's
sorry.
very-
All you
Dude, a
roofers out there.
412 is like a castle roof.
Yeah.
It's long. Never mind.
like one of the
Yeah,
steeples.
the spiral, the spires. Dude, I got up in my attic today and I cut the 90 or the
Plumbing update.
plumbing update.
Whichever soundtrack that is.
No, you had the right one.
Still not fixed.
So I sent you the picture of it. There's a vent pipe that goes straight out of your roof and like vents all your plumbing and everything.
How does that work exactly?
Venting. And so there's a
Venting, as in.
so
like when you're mad.
yeah, and you just have
and
to talk to
you have to
someone.
talk to somebody?
You talk through that little pipe and it sends it to the birds.
I'm not understanding.
Okay. There's a pipe that comes out of your roof.
And it does what again?
You tell it your strong feelings.
Oh, and
it vents.
Oh,
out
events.
for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So anyway, I cut a side vent that is connecting to the main pipe and stuck the snake down it. And I hit resistance. And I'm like, dude, this is it. And I pull it out and it's a little bit wet. So I'm like jamming this snake down in there.
Please stop with that.
I just gotta. I don't know how to remove a clog, but I just figured I'd break it up and it would all go down and everything. So I seal it up and go down in my shower, turn on the shower, then go in the kids' bathroom and flush, and go downstairs and there's water all over the floor. I'm like, dude, I can't.
You know what's really gross about this?
It's like toilet water.
Yeah, it's toilet water, and you just now discovered that. That it was toilet
Dude,
water.
we've been playing in it.
Yeah, the kids thought it was an indoor swimming pool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jeremiah just slips and cracks his face on it. Anyway.
Did he really?
No.
Man, that stinks, dude.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's like maybe if I just pour Drano down it and it'll like eat it all away or something, but
Can we talk about Drano for a second? Because I have a problem with my sink where it like continually fills up. You know, like if you're washing your face, like my wife washes her face and I brush my teeth and it just...
oh, bathroom sink.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, excuse me again.
Why is it there?
will pour, because I don't want to lean forward too much. I will pour Drano down it once in a while. It fixes it for like a day and then it's back. What's my problem? Dead air.
It's not. There's still stuff down there probably.
Drano doesn't work then, so don't use Drano.
Drano is the Roundup of the plumbing world.
I love Roundup.
It's terrible. Like no, you don't
it's
like
really good. Like,
I love Roundup.
strongly endorsed.
yeah, huge endorsement.
Dude, I put Roundup around my bed. I use it as
Man,
deodorant.
we gotta stop moving these mics, guys.
We need better mic stands.
We're working on it.
No, we're not.
I know.
How are we at? Oh, gosh.
8 minutes. I did have a question, though.
Go ahead.
Any plans this upcoming week?
I knew that was coming. Oh my gosh. I had a good question.
I have topics to get into later that are a little more interesting, like deeper, I guess.
Why don't you just do it?
It takes us a solid 35 minutes to get.
That's
in
kind
the
of like
flow with the
I usually
pod.
wait till we get into like the flow because we're just bantering for a little bit.
Well,
Which I like.
Banter over.
Hey, did you see something cool today on your way here?
No.
Okay, never mind.
I was in my yard before I came here.
I got really mad. I literally made us do a pit stop in Iceland on our honeymoon so that I
Whoa.
could see Aurora Borealis. Because I've never seen it and I've always wanted to see it. And not all of us get to go to Canada and Alaska
More like a
you.
snore of boring Alice. Am I right?
No. So anyway, we get a text in the group chat, and Ben apparently is seeing magic in the sky.
And it was indeed magic.
We'll post a thing right here.
Yeah.
Or you could just Google Northern
Check
Virginia.
here and check our social media platforms.
Or not.
Was it like right?
Yeah, it was like we did a thumbnail. They'll see it.
Nice. Yeah, Northern Lights were out in Virginia, and it was tight. You know, I put a ton of effort into trying to see the last ones. like, what was that?
Did you go up to the
June or
mountains?
something?
or-
Yeah, I went up on the mountains.
Yeah.
I was like there, and like there were crowds. We didn't see anything. It was crazy. And then tonight,
Your
I'm
front
just like
yard.
working on and putting on like the shower trim, like the shower head and the diverter trim. And I get a text, go out in your yard. I was like, yeah. So I ran out in my yard because I never miss an opportunity to run in my yard. Somebody's telling me
For
to run.
sure.
Yeah, you're like, oh, yeah, I got to get out there. I don't know
What am I
to do.
missing?
Yeah, what am I missing? So I run out there, look up in the sky. I don't really see much. Yeah, dude, these alarms are insane. Did you just put on snooze,
just keep
bro?
talking. Keep talking. You don't see much.
Didn't see much. And then I took a picture of it. And I was like, oh, dude, I do see it. And then I let my eyes adjust to the sky, and it, like you could see with your naked eye, it was awesome.
Okay, this is what we were talking about before the podcast. Why? But before you
Yeah.
said you could see with your bare eyes.
Yeah.
But now you're saying naked eyes. Why is it naked eyes and not bare eyes? You don't say I'm naked-footed. I'm barefooted. Bare
Right.
feet?
Well, if you say bare eyes, people are going to think you have bare eyes.
What? But that's the point.
What about bare feet? And my bare feet. They're going to think you have bare feet.
I think bare feet are way cooler than bare eyes.
I don't know.
I
Are
feel
they
like-
nocturnal?
Bare eyes aren't that good.
Not nocturnal. Our dog. What?
Isn't it interesting how like
Colorblind?
Yeah. So a little bit night visiony.
I always think it's super interesting when this happens, like what just happened, like where we were talking earlier, and we thought that's kind of interesting. We should talk about that,
And then it's not interesting.
and then we talk about it, and we're like, whoa, that is way not interesting. It's like crazy.
You are the kryptonite of this podcast.
Do you know what? That may be true, but let me tell you something. Today,
We lost him.
we were driving down the road in our work van. And there was a dead deer in the road, and like
Dude, we just talked about this before the podcast. Again, it's not going to be funny.
I didn't talk about this. I didn't
Luke's
talk about
just upset that
Yeah.
you didn't like his story. That was his topic.
That's all I had, dude.
Okay, so this deer, like its head is laying out in the middle of the road.
Nice.
So naturally, my brother lines it up with the passenger side wheels.
Sure.
You gotta flatten that head if you get a chance. Is that normal? Does that seem like normal behavior?
Define normal. Like for a psychopath?
Yeah, any.
Any type of psychopath?
What person is that normal for?
All right, so you see roadkill. What do? You go around it
Go
or you
around it.
straddle it?
It depends where it's located.
How
and
what?
if there's oncoming traffic.
Okay.
Dude, if I try to straddle roadkill, my car will drag that whole thing.
Like both
I'm not
bumpers
saying
will fly.
Exactly. I'm not saying it's like a bear or a buck or something laying in the road. I'm saying
like a squirrel.
there's like a raccoon laying.
Oh,
in
raccoon!
You're still going to get me.
Raccoon, I actually might hit.
No, I need it higher.
I need a squirrel.
This is a raccoon that's been in the road for a while, so it's a bit flat.
Oh, it's kind of
What?
bony.
Okay.
But if you hit it, you're gonna like you'll feel it.
I avoid it.
What roadkill can you straddle?
A squirrel.
Really?
Chipmunk.
A bird?
Squirrel or smaller?
Maybe a skunk.
Ooh.
Skunk and raccoon, I feel
Dude,
like
you'd
are
hate to
pretty
make that mistake
comparable.
on a skunk, though.
Oh, my God.
Dude, that's like the worst one.
Yeah. Yeah, why is that where you draw?
Like, I may take the chance on a skunk, but
Yeah,
It's kind of more of disrespectful if you straddle it, too. Like, if you go to the side, it's like respect.
yeah.
But if you straddle it, it's kind of like, I don't know.
yeah,
I straddle it
disrespectful.
as much as I can.
yeah, you're almost tempting the fates. That
Well-
one more spray might just.
It's also just kind of like, I don't know, you just like walk. It's almost, I don't know.
Yeah, you
You're
don't
not
want to
paying it
walk over
respect.
a cemetery. You
Yeah,
go
you
you
around.
don't. You don't step over a snake. You walk around the snake.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, that's because I
different.
don't want him to bite me.
Well, yeah, you don't want to get sprayed by the skunk.
If you're in
true.
a cemetery, do you avoid where the body would be, or do you just avoid the headstone?
I gotta tell you, I just was at a cemetery
I think about both.
like a month and a half ago. I just walked freely.
Dude,
Yeah, and I realized later when I was like watching everybody else like walk around in like the designated walking areas, like, oh, I blew it. But nobody said anything.
I only go to
fine.
cemeteries where they bury them vertically so that I don't have to worry about it. Straight under
Much
the
closer
headstone.
together plots.
Yeah, exactly.
Only,
Or it's like-
it's really
if
shoulder to
they're-
shoulder.
Yeah, what was that? Is that The Office?
I'm unaware of what that is.
Oh, okay.
I was-
I thought that was an Office thing. Anyway, when I was in Costa Rica, all their cemeteries, they're like above ground. What?
I
he just put his
accidentally
foot
Oh.
directly onto my foot, and it took
And
way
I
too long
left
for him
it
to
there.
move.
Yeah. Anyway, all their, I guess because they're so close to the ocean where they're at or whatever.
Who?
In Costa Rica.
What is that?
Okay. Anyway,
A continent.
it's a continent,
Okay.
and so I asked the guy. I was like,
Where's the nearest vowel?
Vowel?
Yeah.
You mean like channel? Like
Like
the English
vowel.
channel?
Like, Steven knows exactly what I'm
I
saying.
know what
and
you're
he's
saying.
very upset
But
right now.
I don't like
Look
it.
how mad he is.
I don't even understand what you're saying.
Because it
Oh, you
sounds
don't?
like... What's the word? I know what it is, but it's...
It worked. He doesn't know. Okay, continue.
I don't know what's happening.
It's better that way. Continue.
Are we talking about vowels or Costa Rica?
Costa Rica, go ahead. Can you name your vowels? That's the point. Tell your story, please.
I hate this so much.
Yeah, you should. Okay.
Anyway, I asked my buddy who's a local there why.
Dude, that was insane.
Tell your story, please.
Spiral. Okay. Back on track. Your buddy who lives in some
I
made
see
up
the twi-
fairyland.
I see the twitch in your eye, the vein in your temple.
I just don't. I don't like not knowing what's happening.
Okay.
All right, your
A
buddy.
made up
is not
fairy
worth
tale
it.
land
Yeah.
called Costa Rica.
Okay.
Nobody knows where it is.
No one knows where it is.
But it's a continent.
It's
Or a
where
vowel.
Jurassic.
Wait, were you about to say Jurassic Park was filmed there?
It's where Jurassic Park took place.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was Isla Nublar.
Well, it's 30 miles
Well-
off the coast of Costa Rica.
What about Isla Sorna?
Also 32 miles.
I know my Jurassic Park.
Okay. This is like pulling teeth.
I'm having fun,
It's the
dude.
dumbest. I said, "Why don't you bury your dead?" And he's like, "Why do people bury their dead?" And that's the end of the story. I don't know why.
I was really hoping there was a better payoff.
It was just all their cemeteries. They're like stone sarcophagi above ground.
Sorry.
But
I thought the vowel and continent thing was really bad.
Dude,
I get
he just
the
explained
vowel
a
thing
sentence
now.
he heard in a different country. That's all. It was just a regular
Continent,
sentence.
consonants.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know how to say
Incontinent.
that word. Incontinent?
So, okay. Okay. All right.
All right.
What's your topic? Let's give
so-
us some meat on the bone.
I've
please.
been listening a lot to the old Danny Carlin,
Yeah, boy.
friend of the show.
This
Well,
is just
frequently
we
referenced.
could just turn this into the Dan Carlin review podcast because I'd be in.
I do like talking about this because Ben doesn't get angry, Steve doesn't get angry, and Dan just chimes in really stupid stuff.
So Ben gets angry whenever we talk about things of substance, and he gets bored.
Sure.
When do I get angry?
When we don't
go-
know what's
Yeah,
happening.
when we talk
it
about
just
vowels.
happened a minute ago.
Dude, that was my brain was just not there.
I know,
I
and
thought
I-
it was something way deeper, but it was like
So I was listening to Dan Carlin, and I've listened to a couple of the hardcore history since you were right. Painfotainment.
Painfotainment?
That's what it was. Yeah. I listened to one that it was about slavery. Pretty interesting. He has these Blitz episodes. Are you aware of the Blitz episodes where he
dude.
kind of just talks?
the slavery thing was.
The
The
human
Blitz
resources.
episodes are good. Have you listened to the addendum episodes?
No, because those seem more like regular podcasts, just kind of like
Yeah, like
chill.
And a lot of times he just is chatting with somebody.
Yeah, which I
Pretty
would like to
cool.
listen to, but there's so much content without that it's kind of daunting. I have not bought Wrath of the Khans. I want to,
You should.
but I don't want to pay for it.
It's more expensive now. Is that what you were saying?
It's $3 a piece.
Ooh, that's more
Yeah.
than
How many
$1.
episodes are there?
5.
Is there 5?
So, but I will
Dude,
eventually. But there's
that's
so much
such-
content before I buy it.
That's like one of the best investments you can make for $15.
No, I will. Right now, I'm listening to Supernova in the East, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
about like
it's pretty good.
Japanese culture,
World War II.
yeah, and like what led to them being. And I had read. We had talked about this in the pod a while back, but the Killing Jesus book. I had read the Killing the Rising Sun. I think it was. It was about like Japan in World War II by Bill O'Reilly.
This is why we should have couch podded.
And he was talking about how, and Dan Carlin said the same thing. There was this understanding in the Japanese population that they were going to fight to the death, like every woman, man, child sort of thing. And that was kind of like, we talked about this, I think, in the pod at one point, but like that's kind of why the dropping of the bombs was like somewhat like justified, I guess, because it was going to be like a massacre either way, I suppose. But he talked about some really interesting things that just kind of sparked my interest. Do you guys know what foot binding is?
Yep.
Oh my gosh,
I think so.
dude, it's terrible.
Actually, no, I don't. Tell me about
It's
it.
terrible. Should I talk about it? It's brutal.
Yeah.
Dude, so I guess in ancient, I think it was Chinese mostly culture, and then I think the Japanese kind of developed it as well. Women were told basically that you don't want to have large feet. Like that's not attractive to a dude.
Amen.
Except for guys with foot fetishes. I mean, I'm guessing.
Amen.
Is that a Bigfoot thing?
I don't know if that's a big foot or a small foot
Look
thing.
how big her feet.
It's actually terrible though. They like took so that because of that they were like, well, okay, we don't want our women to have large feet. I don't know why that was such a big deal to the point where they would take girls when they're like 3 years old and break their feet, like break all their toes, break the arch, and then wrap it so tightly that it would like heal in this like
Like a hoof.
like a triangle hoof, basically, to where like the heel comes. It gives me like goosebumps even thinking about it because I looked up pictures, and
I've never looked up pictures.
dude, it is brutal. Because there's people alive today.
Here's
who,
one,
like,
right?
yeah, check the show notes. It's terrible, and they're basically like, this is your foot. These toes are curled under, and there's just the big toe out, and then the heel is like, oh, dude, it looks like a hoof. It's terrible. But that was like apparently a big thing. Like, hey, we're gonna have our women do this because some dude, I guess, was like, nah, I don't like big feet. Let's break all the women's toes, and then it just carried on for probably centuries. I don't know, but it's disgusting. Another thing they did. No, this was not Japanese culture, but they might have talked about this in Wrath of the Khans, because apparently the Huns did it as well as like Native American cultures. They did. You're tuning out. You're tuning out.
No, I'm listening.
Stay with me.
I am actually still listening.
They talked about headbinding. Familiar?
Yeah, dude.
No, tell me about it.
So
Tell them about it.
They break up your head in a bunch of different pieces and tie it up real tight.
yeah,
I think so.
no. So
They just wrapped it
This
tightly
is
while
like-
your head is still
you
malleable.
know Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or whatever it is.
No, tell me about
It's a Disney movie.
it. I'm inquiring.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So these people have, like the Incan or the Mayan, one of the ancient South Middle American civilizations. That's the word. Apparently, something happened that they believed that having the elongated head is like means you're like from the gods or whatever, and so that a lot of times is like the conspiracy is that these aliens came down who had elongated heads and really interacted with their culture and everything, and that can be brought down to like the Watchers and the different things like that. That these aliens came in, gave them all this technology and society and everything, and what we've talked about in the past is how the Watchers do that. And so what they would do is we have these skeletons of these people and some skeletons of what may not be people of these heads that are super elongated. And so what they would do when they're really little, basically the same way, is they would tighten down and like super wrap these babies' heads so that they would grow into the form of these like weird elongated headed beings, so that people would think that they're like divine or...
It is exactly what you're picturing. Like you picture a skull from like an alien, and that's what it looks like.
Whoa.
And the point Dan Carlin had, which was really interesting, was like, oh shoot, who was fighting like the Huns and stuff, the Khans, like they were
talking about the
everyone.
Mongols.
Yeah, I guess so.
Who was fighting them?
Genghis
Like,
Khan was the Mongol.
the whole world.
Nobody very well.
Well, I think it was that, or maybe he was even talking about.
They fought the Romans. Like that was
Okay, so the Romans. That's what he was talking about. He
Yeah.
said the Romans. He was like, the Romans described the Huns as like these like beast men, and he was like, imagine if you were going up against them and they had that like elongated skull. Like you would think like, oh, this guy is like a beast, like just like otherworldly. Yeah.
Did they do head binding for the Huns as well?
I don't know. Gosh, I just listened to it a couple hours ago, but like it was some culture where they had described their enemies as, I almost want to say it was like the Romans fighting like the Gauls or whatever, but that's because I just listened to a different Dan Carlin podcast like that.
Man, you're crushing these podcasts.
I just got a lot of time right now. And I think it was what you just, I think it was Romans against the Huns or the Khans or something, and they just described him like that, and it's like, well, that would make sense. Can you imagine fighting a dude whose skull was like 6 to 8 to 12 inches higher than yours from like chin to top? That'd be wild.
It would be wild.
Yeah, but just look at his feet and you'll be all right.
Do
Well,
they ever?
if he's trying to use
Do they
his.
dig up bones like that?
Oh,
Do
dude,
we
there's
have 'em?
pictures. Oh, I don't have my phone. Dang it.
As far as I know, I only know about it in South America.
It is a very big Africa, I think, tradition. From what I read.
Africa?
As well, apparently.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Um,
That's where a lot of the picture, like, I was Googling pictures.
yeah.
That?
Yeah, but let me
Yeah.
show you one that I found. Keep talking.
But it's so weird, like, for cosmetics, like, how far society goes. Like, I heard a podcast today that was Jules or something is supposed to...
I don't want that out too soon without thinking.
Yeah.
Is it whale blub? That
me
is
see.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
oh, my gosh.
like, that's crazy.
You intentionally inject your lips to have an allergic...
Hey, stop.
I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe... No.
That's so crazy.
You know what it reminds me of
And
Holes when she was putting on the poison on her fingernails.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she scratches that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
What a good movie.
That was crazy.
You gotta go dig those holes.
Digging up them holes.
Yeah, it's crazy because like Botox hardly ever, if ever, looks good, but we do it anyway.
I
I
mean,
mean, I've been doing it for like a decade.
yeah. I enjoy it. I like how it tingles.
Yeah. I've been listening to as well. Are you guys aware of Lex Friedman?
I'm not.
He's another guy on YouTube who just has a lot of people on his podcast. Not
He-
the biggest
he
fan
always
of him,
wears a suit.
but yes, he does. But I listen to YouTube knows that I've been listening to history stuff, so they keep recommending me Lex Friedman and this other guy he had on who talk a lot about Roman culture, Roman war, Alexander the Great, stuff like that. Alexander the Great is one guy I don't know anything about, and I'd like to know more about.
Well, Dan Carlin just came out with an episode about Alex.
I started it. Yeah.
It's actually about Alexander's dad.
The
And
first
his
one
mom,
is.
like Philip.
Oh, there's
and-
two?
Well, this is the first in the series. The whole series is
Oh.
about Alexander the Great,
Oh, okay.
but he just did background on the first
It's like mania subjugation or something like that. I don't know. His mom was weird. She was like a witch or something.
That's what I was saying, dude. She's like,
She had like snakes
she was
in her bed.
in bed with snakes, and they're saying that's what birthed Alexander the Great, which goes into a lot of
Like what?
Nephilims type
Oh.
in the garden, the snake, and all kinds of wild stuff. Which is crazy because that's like contemporary with like
What does
we
that
were
mean?
saying, Nehemiah and stuff. Like Alexander the Great was what 200 BC or something.
I have no clue.
Maybe not. Maybe it was like 500 BC, but still,
I
that's
think
like
it was a while back.
that's like Nehemiah and Ezra. That's the one.
Esther.
Esther's before that.
Oh. Ezra?
Isn't it crazy
yeah.
how
Ezra and
yeah,
Nehemiah
yeah,
are the
yeah.
last
That's right.
chronological in the Old Testament.
it's crazy when you listen to history stuff, how it's easy for us to be like, oh, that was like 300 years before this guy or whatever. But like, we as a nation have been alive for 300 years. Not even, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's insane to think like, oh, no, that was 400 BC and Julius Caesar was around in 100 BC. And it's like, that is so much life, especially back then. That's like, I mean, people lived like, what, 45, 50 years old tops back then, didn't they?
No, people have always lived to be around 100 or so, but it was
Really?
like the life expectancy is so much shorter because there's so much infant mortality. So,
I thought people also just died from stuff more
I mean,
easily.
yeah, for sure they did. But it was like you would find 100-year-old people forever. That's
just-
why it's like in the Bible when they say we're going to limit your days to 100 years or whatever.
Yeah,
it
that's true.
It wouldn't make sense to say that if everyone's just dying at 40. They're like, dang,
So a lot of people died from like diseases and stuff, but then the people that made it without it lived longer.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What were you saying before that?
I forgot. Can you remind me? Oh, you were listening. That's cool. No, I
You're
was talking
listening
about
to a podcast.
Yeah,
to this dude.
they were talking about how shoot, I'm blanking. I don't know. It's just I'm very fascinated by Roman cult. Like, as stupid me, I always thought like Greeks and Romans were kind of gosh dang it, we're always kind of the same.
It's unbelievable.
But
They're very similar.
but I guess the Greeks viewed the Romans as like just kind of like gross, dirty. Like the Greeks were very like we're enlightened type of people, like we're clean and enlightened type of people, and Romans were like the underdog to them, and then Romans just became this incredible force throughout time.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rome is the number one thing I feel like that is always. This was another thing they were talking about. Like Rome, people, whether it's like good countries or bad countries, always look to Rome in different ways. So like they talked about how like the United States looks to Rome as the republic that they had, like the not constitutional, but like the republic they had where they had a senate and all that sort of stuff, and we're inspired by that. But a guy like Hitler was very inspired by the emperor side of Rome, like the Third Reich, that term itself. So like it's just interesting that that's always been kind of like the big staple throughout history, even though I don't know.
He was one of the greatest of all time, but I don't know if he owned more than Julius Caesar as far as like what the reach of the empires and stuff was.
It's crazy.
But explain the Third Reich thing, because I think that's fascinating.
Oh, shoot. I looked it up a couple days ago now, but I was curious. I had always heard that term, and I think I asked somebody years ago, but I asked ChatGPT the other day. And friend of the show. Yes. And I forget exactly what it means. Do you remember?
Yeah, it's like the Third Roman Empire. So
yes.
The first one was Julius Caesar, and then it was the Holy Roman Empire, I think is the second one.
I think you're right.
And then the third one was supposed to be Hitler bringing back the Roman Empire.
But I don't remember. I guess Reich is directly translated as Roman
Reign,
Empire.
I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I could be wrong.
I had never known that, and it was kind of around the same time I listened to that guy say, like, yeah, Hitler, like, we're inspired by this side of Roman, and he's inspired by that, and it kind of makes sense because, like, yeah, he was...
It's like a mosaic. You can get whatever motivation from it or whatever you want.
You know that Hitler was trying to make this, like, massive city, like, basically another, like, Rome with the Colosseum and sort of stuff. Like, his ultimate goal was to make, like, this giant, like, massive city, like, all in honor of him and stuff.
Like New Jerusalem. It's like
probably
1,000 miles by 400 miles.
Something like that, yeah. It was going to be insane.
Do you guys ever wonder, like, what life would be like if Hitler had just kind of succeeded?
Man in the High Castle. Terrible.
I haven't thought that yet.
Why did you do an evil laugh when he said that?
Well, because he
Put your hand down.
The funny sorry.
That's funny.
He had... Look. Hitler wasn't a good guy.
Okay, easy. Yeah, I do. I mean, I think about, like, what if the Axis powers had won?
Yeah.
We'd all be speaking Japanese and Russian and, well,
would
not
we,
really.
though? Because we won and they're not all speaking English. You know what I mean?
I think
That's
that
a
they
good
had
point.
different goals.
That's a good point.
I think they had different goals.
Yeah, but so the Roman Empire is all over Europe, but not all Europe was speaking Italian or Latin.
Yes, I do agree. I think you had, speaking of Genghis Khan, I think there were people in history, like the Roman Empire, like Genghis Khan, who were very good at maintaining control because they would go take a place and then say, hey, you can run how you want, but
Which is what you have
you're
to do.
king. Right. Otherwise, everything rebels. But I think a guy like Hitler was not going to do that.
I think for sure, like, France and Britain would probably be speaking German. But as far as us, I think we would still speak English. We're too far removed from that. You know what I mean?
I just don't see his, like...
Plus, it's too recent.
I don't think you see...
Like, our grandparents are still here.
Sure, that's true. You would have...
Some of ours are.
And I do think that...
Why do we keep going back to that?
That's a good point. Sorry, Dan. I do think the United States is unique because like the armed population, that would make a huge difference in that
for
sort
sure.
of thing.
Which goes back to the Japanese thing of like
Yes.
every house you go into, there's going to be someone that's trying to kill you.
He said, what do you say? There's going to be a gun behind every blade of grass or something like that,
Yeah,
which is pretty wild. But
meanwhile, Australia, you just walk in. They're like,
it's true. They just got giant spiders, which
Dude, yeah.
is enough to keep me out, right?
do you think?
Right?
Oh, definitely. I'm out if there's spiders.
Do you think like the Australian colony started by Britain just dumping all their prisoners there? You know what I mean? What is happening again?
Ben says in half an hour.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm out if there's spiders.
Dude, I'm totally out if there's spiders.
So like, do you think that England was like, let's just throw him to that desert where it's just full of every animal that wants to kill you,
everything that kills.
and then like they just became Australians and are super tough and like, oh, it didn't work.
That's the idea of the island.
If you could go one place on the planet, where would you go?
On the planet?
Yeah.
No, he said
The core.
In would be interesting too.
that would be cool.
Like which layer you'd visit. Where would you go?
I need to think about that one.
Ooh.
I think New Zealand,
America.
That's the one I was gonna say.
Really?
Yeah.
I would really like to go to Eastern Europe and just look around because they have like a bunch of old castles and stuff like that. I think it's really cool. But
I'm going to have a really lame answer. If I would go to Israel because I really want to see that.
That's good.
That would be pretty sick.
If taking that off the board just from like the religious reasons, I guess, I'd really like to see Rome. I've always been very like
Rome would be cool.
Yeah.
I love history so much. Like, so when we were in England, I might have brought it up on here, but there's this castle. It's like over 1,000 years old, and they still have the same like altar banister thing that you go and kneel
Which
at.
is insane.
So I went and prayed, and it was like the hair on my arms was standing up on end because it was just like
Like how many people?
Yeah,
think?
exactly. I'm so connected to the body of Christ at that point. It's like you're just in the same spot that for thousands of years. And so like take that, or hundreds of years, take that and extrapolate it to like Israel. Like this is the actual spot that Jesus walked. These are the actual stars that Jesus saw. And stuff like that, like the same constellations, the same night sky is exactly what Jesus watched. Whereas like here, it's a little bit different because we're in a different hemisphere and different. But anyway,
Yeah, Israel would be pretty sick.
I'd also like to go to Bourbon Street. Think that'd be cool.
you can just drive there, dude. Nothing's
Sure. Like
Wait. Bourbon Street, is that Mardi Gras place? Is
Yeah.
that where Mardi Gras
Narlands.
Narlands.
Irish. Narlands. Top of the morning to you. Got my scotch.
Miami's
that's
cool.
that's Scottish. Dang it. What is the coolest place in the States that you've been? I know
Wherever the eclipse is taking place.
Nice.
Am I right, fellas? No,
let me guess yours.
okay.
The Yellowstone.
Good.
Yellowstone's cool,
But it's not.
No, it's very cool.
No, I mean, it's not.
Colorado, dude. I'm all about that Colorado.
Yeah, I'd go there.
But like, where are you saying the coolest place
In the States that you've been to.
that you just want to see?
Haven't you seen
that's
Grand
just
Canyon?
gonna blow your mind? Yeah, probably Grand Canyon. It has that shock factor of like, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the canyon.
I don't know. I've only been to. I'm like the states that I've really been to are like California and Florida. Like I've been to other ones, but I haven't done anything that interesting. I think.
Are there any places that are like that haven't lived up to what you were expecting?
Oh, every place I go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. I'm
Tough to
perpetually
please.
disappointed throughout life.
Yeah.
I really thought Indiana would bring more to the table.
Indiana?
Just kidding. Dude, I went, so it was really funny.
It's the worst state to drive through.
We
It's the worst.
we went to Kentucky to go see the Ark Encounter thing that they
Oh,
have
yeah.
there. And because we're trying to state hop and go to every state, so we went across the Ohio River and stayed like an afternoon in
Is this
Ohio.
recently?
It was a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
I think Zeke was a baby. But anyway, so we hopped the border into Indiana and go into this tiny town, and it was exactly like Pawnee. There's like murals everywhere we looked.
Oh,
it was
awesome.
It was everything I
bloody
could have hoped
murals.
for. Yeah, dude, it was the best.
Those murals were really funny.
There's like one side is really beautiful, and then this is like
Yeah, for sure. Just do the slow pan, and it's just horrible. What a good show.
Yeah, it's
I really liked Key West. That's a really lame answer, but that's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been.
a cool
Even
spot.
not in just the United States.
I've never been.
It's incredible. You can almost see. Is it Costa Rica?
Nope.
Cuba.
I do want to clarify when we're talking about
Cuba.
Key West. We did not go together.
Oh, we did.
Take
It's
that to
important.
mean whatever you want it
It's
to mean.
important to specify.
Yeah.
I went with a few other gentlemen, and we slept in a car
Yep.
together.
Yep, that
which
adds
was
up.
Terrible.
It's just-
All that adds up.
Yeah.
I'm not west enough, if you know what I mean.
I thought you loved Colorado.
I do. It's the Midwest.
Yeah, I would move to Colorado if it wasn't so blue.
Oh, dude. No, I see that. I don't get it.
I definitely
All the
get
great
it.
places are blue.
No, I don't. And a lot of people move because of like they want to vote and win all the time
They
or
want to
whatever.
have freedom. Is that why?
Okay.
You against freedom?
I feel like they're just as free there as we are here. Maybe even freer.
No.
Sure, there's like the majority mixed population. Obviously, that's how the country works. But there are
Unfortunately.
places like
Just kidding.
Denver is a very liberal area where the people, and not just like when it comes to voting time or anything like that. It's like
I will say
the people that you talk to, or like California or Oregon or these cool places to visit. And I'm fine with all kinds of people, but it's very
I didn't even question that until you said that. And now I'm like,
define all kinds of.
I'm not racist, but no.
I think so. Denver
fine with
is
all kinds.
Yeah, exactly.
Denver is one of the, from what I remember, it is one of the nicer cities that I've been to. But everyone's like, you know how a lot of cities are liberal in one, like, I don't know. Denver is liberal because they have a bunch of like almost like hippies.
Dude, last time I was there was a mess.
Really?
It was like a tent city and everything.
I don't know exactly what part
I didn't leave the dumb when I was there.
The what?
Deep underground military
Nice,
base.
dude. Nice.
Under the airport.
This is when you served.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
As
do
a
like.
waiter.
I do think that would be fun. Like if I lived close to that airport, I would try to learn everything I know. Or
Do you
everything
know?
that
Do you
could
know
be
what's
known.
going on in Chicago right now?
Is the whole city burning to the ground?
No, the Chicago airport.
That's normal.
Is it O'Hare? Is Chicago?
I
they always do
don't
that.
actually know.
Guy, Mothman is back.
No, you're kidding. What?
Dude, look it up.
Yeah.
Is that
The-
the state creature there or whatever?
No, that's Mothman's from Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Is
Okay.
where the bridge collapsed.
I'm so glad you know what I'm talking about.
Do you know about Mothman?
No.
Do you know what this is?
No.
So all these people in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, say that they are seeing this Mothman thing in the sky and stuff. Then a bunch of people see this Mothman on the bridge, and then the bridge collapses. So some people think, and then he disappeared. No one ever saw the Mothman again. So they think he's like either a harbinger of, he's like warning people that a natural disaster is coming, or they don't know what. Maybe he's the one that caused the bridge or what it is. But he's like this. All they see is like these two giant eyes, and he flies in his wings and stuff. It's really creepy. He's now being seen in the Chicago. I think Chicago airport is O'Hare, and there's a picture of him, dude. That
Are we sure that's not a bat?
for sure is a human with government technology.
Dude, or it's like a human falling really fast. He's just about to die.
Is he just waving his hands really fast? He had wings, dude. Anyway,
That's what you think.
is it O'Hare Airport? Is
He
it
could have
Chicago?
had wings on that weren't working.
I believe so.
So that guy looked just like the Vulture in Spider-Man. You know what I'm talking about? How he's got those wings and it's like just a jetpack.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know all the superhero things.
for sure. Well, you can get nerdy if you want.
Sure.
I know that you love eating.
I love superhero stuff,
I
dude.
know you do.
Who's your favorite superhero? What?
What do you mean by that?
Superman is for you.
Why? Why?
Key West.
It's either Superman. It would be either Superman or Captain America.
Why?
And because it's a shallow.
Oh,
I don't listen. I don't. This is 2 weeks in a row that I'm. It's like I don't follow a lot of superhero stuff.
No, I like superheroes, but
Tell-
I like Superman.
Tell me about Superman.
He's cool.
Okay.
I just remember him as like
Who's the bad guy?
Wait.
So okay.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
The guy who's bald.
Okay, but what's his name?
I'm blanking.
What's-
I know that
what's Superman's real
You
name?
said his first name earlier when you were
Clark
talking about
Kent.
podcast.
Okay.
Lex
What's-
something.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor.
Good,
Duh, I knew
good.
that one.
Where's he come from?
Kansas. Well, I mean, he comes from.
Who does who come from?
Superman.
His name.
Oh,
His
okay.
real
I thought
name
you were
is
asking where
Kal-El.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Dang, dude.
Okay.
I know where Superman comes from, and I don't even like Superman.
Kryptonite, I know, is what he's not. He doesn't like that.
Okay, but I didn't ask what
Okay,
you didn't like.
but that Kryptonite is a piece of Kryptonia.
Nope.
Isn't it something like that?
It's
Krypton.
Krypton.
Krypton, yeah. I knew that. Or Batman. I like Batman.
Batman's up there.
I never liked Batman until the Chris Nolan films came out, and I'm like, dude,
You never liked Batman?
no, I did like
Oh,
Batman.
I was gonna say
Everybody
what?
liked Batman. You ever watch
If,
the old?
if Stuart were here, he would have like leapt out of the producer's chair and tackled you if you had like said that you weren't a fan of the
So-
Batman animated series.
I've always been like a big Spider-Man guy. Like
I like
Spider-Man's just
Spider-Man,
the
yeah.
best.
Tony,
And for some reason, like
Tobey Maguire.
all my
Bruce
kids have also loved Spider-Man more than anything else.
Yeah, Spider-Man's great.
And I don't know why that is. He's a spider.
Because he's like a kid.
He's a kid.
That's why I remember loving him as a kid, because he's a kid. He's goofy. He's funny.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
He's got a good costume.
Batman's a little darker.
Batman's super
Superman's
dark.
just all-American. Love it.
Maybe that's what it is Spider-Man told jokes and was a wisecracker.
Yeah.
Well, he's spinning around.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Say something.
Easy.
he's smart and he's white. Wisecracker.
Get it?
I do.
Okay.
Moving on.
The yeah. This is hard.
I was listening to a podcast today.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna just talk more about other people's podcasts.
What do you have to contribute?
What do you
Talk
guys-
more about Spider-Man.
yeah.
I tried to get us going with the Mothman thing, and you guys didn't care.
No, I
You
actually
just-
love that.
Have you heard that there's a different like creature for every state or whatever?
I know there's a lot of local like.
Is there one for
cryptids.
Virginia? I wanna
Yeah,
know.
and I forget. I've had
Bunny
my
Man
phone look it up.
Bridge. You know about that?
No, please tell me.
It's in like Arlington or something, and there's like a
Never heard of
bunny
it.
man that goes around and tries to kill people.
Didn't they just make a movie on that? That was Candyman. I don't know.
That's a really old movie.
Okay. I think they just came out with a new one. What about the Bunny Man?
I mean, that's just our local cryptid.
The Snollygaster. It's like
Dude.
a dragon.
Heck yeah.
So that comes from like the there's like a big book about the woods or
Slender
something.
Man?
Dude,
That's-
what do you guys know about Slenderman?
I know nothing about it, and I've always been too scared to look
Dude,
into it.
Slenderman
Haven't we
is
talked
weird.
about Slenderman and Tulpas
I don't know.
and stuff?
But Slenderman is the one. Let me see your phone.
I'm too scared.
So imagine Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Did we talk about this? Maybe
He's-
we did.
We did. So he
He like appears in kids' photos,
I know all that stuff.
and he looks all weird.
do you know what a tulpa is?
No.
Is that kind of like a Slender Man?
It's a thought form. So
I took a guess.
the collective subconscious thinks about something enough that it actually materializes and becomes something.
Right.
And so
Don't like that.
you have we can trace back Slenderman to the first Reddit page or creepypasta. I don't remember what it was.
Is that where he like convinced kids to like stab each other? Right.
Yeah. So it's just like they started like photoshopping these pictures and saying the Slenderman and making up this whole mythos.
These are
about,
photoshops.
I think so.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyway, so there's this whole mythos about Slenderman, and then these like we have documented cases of
Yeah, it's not that
this little girl goes and stabs her friend in the woods because Slenderman told her to do it, and all these different
Terrible.
things. Like, and so it's like, are we collectively creating this Slenderman who's actually coming into people's dreams or seeing these people? Do we have this idea, and these demons could see this idea that we're talking about, so they take the form of a Slenderman and go and influence people, or is it just nothing, and these little girls are like easily manipulatable or whatever?
Yeah.
Probably a bit of both.
I give you 3 options.
Probably a bit of all three.
Guys, I think we know who holds this podcast together.
I know, I do. I think that
Okay.
And tune in next week.
You can't just have nothing to say, Kevin.
Wait.
I was just talking about something with, dang it, on that guy's or that girl's trip. That was also a guy's trip that we were talking about.
Also, we should ask the fans what they would think about us having a wife pod.
The
Like where
wives
we
want
let-
to.
Where we let the wives hop
Do they?
on.
Because my wife says she doesn't want to do it.
She will do it.
Smart.
She'll do it if I tell her to do it, for sure.
Dude, nobody was even questioning that.
Oh, good. I just had to say it.
Because he can't say it there.
Yeah,
Say it here.
She's not going to listen to this, right?
Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best one ever. But you said that word, though.
What? What?
You actually said it to her.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Key and Peele, friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Would we sit in on it? Or would
We would have to be
Like editing and
nearby to keep things from falling apart because obviously
Yeah.
we're good at this.
Maybe we should
It's true.
My bad.
double record a pod so that we have something to, in case that one implodes.
Yeah, because we can't put
We have
any
a
faith in
backup.
them, right?
Women.
I know that my wife would never do it.
Yeah,
She doesn't even know
cancel.
I do this. Oh, she's asleep.
The bar.
Yeah.
Cool.
She thinks I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine.
It's totally fine. But anyway, I did have something I wanted to say, but I can't remember.
Okay.
Don't you have notes?
Oh, they're on the thing. So that's what I was going to... When I was bringing up the plumbers thing, it's kind of funny how there's this issue that happens when you like can play an instrument that you
Women just flock to you.
women, yeah. No, like, so I can play guitar, right?
Yeah.
Not well, but I can play the guitar. So I can play chords and stuff, but I can't really pick. I can't shred. I can't do any of these things. So if I am playing the guitar and someone like my wife knows I can play the guitar. If I learn something really difficult on guitar, she's like unimpressed because I'm a guitar player. Obviously, I
Right.
can do anything on guitar, right? And so the same thing goes, and Ben, I'm sure that you deal with this as well in your realm, but probably less so than me because I'm much more limited. But
Nice. Save.
because I am a DIYer, I'm not even going to say it because I'm handy because I usually get myself into more trouble than I am.
I would say you're handy.
My wife now just thinks that I will and am qualified to do any kind of a repair or anything. And so this plumbing issue or whatever, I have a breakthrough and I'm so pumped about it. And she's like, yeah, I don't care because you're the guy that fixes stuff. Like you're supposed to fix everything. So now like there's no appreciation for growth or anything. You know what I mean?
That's why I've
There's
been
like this
underselling my wife for
Yeah.
years. It's really the only play.
Do you guys ever like purposely like give backhanded compliments or like appreciation to your wife? Just to make sure she doesn't get too cocky?
Give me an example.
Well, so say I'm like, hey, babe, can you give me a drink? And she'll get me a drink, and it'll be like 3 ice cubes. Be like, oh, only 3 ice cubes. Thanks. That's good, though.
Yeah,
That'll work.
absolutely. But I don't do it
Like
to be
something-
funny.
like
It's just
stuff like
talk
that?
If I told my wife to give me a drink, she would throw a can of Coke in my face. No, I'm just kidding.
I try to nitpick everything out of it. Like if she brings me a sandwich and one corner of the sandwich doesn't have
Right.
mayonnaise on it or whatever, like
My favorite
There's a problem.
is complaining, even if I don't want it all.
I'm kidding.
Like complaining if she like drinks some of my soda or something.
I thought you had a weird thing where you won't, even if your wife drinks
Oh
after
no,
you.
I'll drink
think
after
that's
my
Dan.
wife, but that's it.
Okay.
I will not drink after you fellas.
Would you drink after another guy? Ben's drinking a soda.
Key
He's like,
West
hey,
style.
hey, you want a drink?
I'd share a drink with Ben.
That's what's up.
No, honestly, I get a little weird about that.
It wouldn't be sharing a drink with me. It would be just taking over my drink.
If I'm desperate,
because
I
I
was gonna
wouldn't be sharing.
What
it
would
back.
you more readily do? Take a drink out of a can of soda from someone else or drink out of their straw.
Oh, dude, the straw's rough. Like that
so is
straw's
the soda.
really, really rough, dude.
Soda can though. Like
I
honestly,
You
I don't know why, but I feel like water falling is
You
so much
can't-
better, but it's not.
But you have to.
I
They're
know.
soda can or a straw.
Will you eat dip? Seinfeld episode, double dip.
Yeah,
You gonna go back if you see somebody double dipping?
I'll be annoyed that they do it, and I might make a weird eye contact with them, but
We'll still
I'll
munch.
still munch.
Yeah.
It depends on how good the dip is.
No, dude.
If it's salsa, I'm moving on. But if it's like a queso dip or something,
like a killer case,
I'm sucking it up.
there's not a dip I've come across that would allow me to
7
go-
layer.
No,
7
dude.
layer.
Have you guys had corn street dip or whatever?
Oh no, but it looks amazing. I've had
my brother-in-law, he makes the killer street dip.
You should have him make some for
it.
the
Would you
pod.
double? Yes.
He would. It's kind of expensive, I think, to make, but I'll ask him.
Well,
He makes them in like
you can eat
giant
those.
trays.
Do you know how much guacamole I've thrown?
I don't even know why I'm making such large quantities.
I was in Walmart. Speaking of me staring at, what was I
People?
talking about when I stared?
You said you'd stare down.
The barrel?
No,
Oh my God.
dude, I don't even remember what we were just talking about.
You said
Something about
Shoot.
Walmart.
Oh, if someone double dipped, I would stare at him. Yeah,
was that it?
yeah.
Double, you'd stare at him like, and he'd take 3 scoops out of the bowl.
Yeah, totally. But I saw someone in Walmart again just blatantly stealing all their groceries.
Yeah.
And the dude's like looking around, and we make eye contact, and I'm just staring at him, and he looks back down and keeps going, and then he like looks back, and I'm still just staring him down because I am livid.
Did you tell someone?
No,
Oh, so you're complicit in a crime. Okay.
no, they're all watching him. They know it's happening. They're
no.
complicit.
Wouldn't the move be just like scan one item so the thing turns red?
It would be smart.
It's called skip scanning. They do that.
Yeah, and then just like
That would be way more smart. But the people don't do that.
They
just
do that.
no. Okay,
I know what you're saying. Sometimes they'll do it. The green light is on. Those people are either really dumb or know that they're going to get away with it. Skip scanning is what people will do
Right.
way more often.
sure. I'm sure that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, do you ever get anxiety that you may have forgotten to scan something as you're like walking out?
Oh,
of
dude,
the
I make
door?
sure I look in that camera. I'm like I'm not trying to hide anything, because funny enough, you say that Walmart years ago, they kind of stopped like pursuing things because they had so many lawsuits for false claims for warrants. Now they're back at it, but
Dude, if you're stealing something from Walmart though, you're in a rough spot. Like if you have to steal from Walmart,
Usually
It's
That's
to
not
the
the
point
case.
now where I see, I'm like, it happens at least every other time I go to Walmart. And I will say, I realized that there's another section of checkout that I didn't see before. So their green light was on. And I'm like, you're in, what are you doing? But anyway, I'll like stare at what they're, or like scope out what they're buying. And it's just like, just ridiculous. Like,
it's not stuff they need to survive.
yeah, it's not the staples that I have to steal bread to feed my family thing. You don't need Modelo to feed your family, bro. You know? Am I right?
right? Yeah. Yeah.
You don't need Modelo to feed your family.
I think
Did I ever tell you guys about my fake profile harassing my dad's neighborhood stories?
Is this
No.
Tim? Tim?
Yeah, I have a fake profile.
why are you telling? Don't.
I didn't know.
Well, I'm
that
not
was
going to
you.
mention his name.
Okay.
He he got into the private. They let him in. I don't know how. I got him.
He's a nice guy.
Got him in, but he was. He
This
got,
is the same guy that
yeah.
you only have one fake profile.
you know
Yeah.
you know.
Love it.
So I got him in my dad's neighborhood Facebook page, right, where all these like stay-at-home moms are just like squawking about nothing.
The neighborhood he's currently in, or the
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Squawking about nothing, dude.
Chicken's
And it
gonna
just
cluck. Am I
drives me
right?
crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude, they are. Oh man, it is a cesspool of just human debris. Anyway,
Dude, go ahead.
I got into this page and I was livid. I had enough of this. Like everybody's complaining about property values, making a point to point out how much people are asking for houses in the neighborhood because it drives everybody's taxes up and everything. It's just like nonsense. So I started.
I've tried to move into that neighborhood several times.
It's a
and
killer neighborhood.
So expensive.
Yeah, it's a killer neighborhood. Anyway,
Well, rarely do you get neighborhoods with like 10-acre lots. Is like every house, you know.
yeah.
It's pretty dope. Anyway,
So I started making up fake complaints to see if anybody would call me on it.
Wait,
Or-
is this on Facebook?
Yeah.
I thought your friend was only on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to think.
He's got a lot of presents.
Sweet.
Yeah, he's all over.
Did you start making stuff up?
Oh yeah.
That's
Like
what
what?
you just said.
So
I'm confirming.
I started out by asking if everybody could put their dogs in their garage at night because the barking keeps me up. Like I have
Wait, you don't live there anymore, right?
to. No, I don't live there.
I want to do this now.
Yeah. It's a good activity. So
Put them in
put them in the garage because they bark and I need my sleep for my photography work that I'm doing. That's primarily in the neighborhood, oftentimes at night. And
That's amazing.
nobody said anything.
Did you get any likes?
Oh yeah, dude. People were like, "Dogs can be outside." That's why we moved to, and like everybody's arguing with each other in the comment section, just going crazy. It's insane. And all I would do is like, I would just monitor it at that point. I wouldn't chime in.
Would you like
unless I
poke the
needed to.
bear and like some comments and stuff?
One guy knew what I was doing.
Really?
One dude, he was like, "I love a." He said, "This has to be fake," and he's the only comment I ever liked. So I like to think that he got back on like after he received the like, and he was just like, "Oh," and it like all clicked together for him. But another complaint I had was airplanes flying too low, and I wanted to see if anybody had any connections with the FAA to potentially get the airspace locked up, so that way we wouldn't have noise.
Did anybody?
No, nobody. Dude, nobody had it.
Nobody had the
Nobody has.
connections.
Yeah. So another one was traffic noise.
Dude, you've been doing this for a while.
Oh, dude, I did it for a while until they finally were
How-
like, this guy. They were like checking county tax records. And they were like, "There's nobody with this last name who owns a house in this neighborhood."
Wait, are you
Yeah, I'm
serious?
dead serious. And then they like lobbied the admins of the group to kick me out.
Do you save the conversations?
No, I should have.
Oh,
Dude, and what's funny is my cousin lives in that neighborhood, and his wife was like outraged by these comments of this
That's so
random
great.
guy. She said, "I almost commented." I was like, "That was me."
that's so awesome.
But another one, this might have been my favorite one. I complained about traffic noise between the hours of 6 and 9 a.m., keeping me awake because, like I'd mentioned in a previous post, I'm a photographer and need my rest.
It's like verbatim what you just posted.
Yeah.
As I mentioned in a previous post.
Yeah, and it was like this, but it's like 2 paragraphs long of like a detailed complaint about car traffic. And one guy was like, "Dude, that's when everybody's leaving for work." I was like, "Yeah, that's the exact reason I picked that time."
If you could leave later.
Yeah. It's like,
Dude, that's incredible.
they got pretty mad.
Speaking of neighborhood,
Hijinks.
Antics.
hijinks and stuff. There, we had a neighbor.
Wait, were we just about to get a park story?
No. This is.
Dude, I'm waiting for the park stories. I can't wait for the park stories.
Have I told any
He's
park
told
stories?
a couple of
You
like,
told
play
one
with a
about
raccoon
like
or
a
something.
peeping Tom on your sister.
Oh yeah, that was a creepy one.
Said you played with a raccoon, I think, one time.
It wasn't a raccoon. It was a possum.
Oh, sorry.
Hey man, raccoons are tight. We had I didn't have park life growing up, but in Fairfax, in my neighborhood, been a long time since I talked about the neighborhood. We got pet raccoons from that neighborhood. We had them forever until we moved out here.
You already told us about that.
Sounds like
Yeah.
Fairfax. Go ahead.
Raccoons are not park animals, bro. He's playing with possums.
Raccoons are the rich man's
Different
pet.
kind of clientele.
Yeah, it's the rich man's varmint.
That was the most shade that's ever been thrown in this pod. He's playing with possums.
Oh my
I felt insecure because was talking about my pet raccoons.
You're just projecting on me,
I had
dude.
to deflect.
So I could tell.
No, tell the story
So anyway,
you were going to tell.
there was a person who lived in close proximity to us at our old neighborhood. And we had a cat that was indoor outdoor, and there's nothing we can do about that. And she literally posted on the Facebook page, like, put your cat on a leash, or like, she was like, it started out like, honor thy neighbor.
Yeah.
She broke out thy.
Yeah. And then she
Respect
said, like,
thy neighbor. It's in the Bible. I believe it's like Exodus 20.
I'm
something.
having this cat in my yard all the time, and she keeps pooping in our driveway or something. Just put it on a leash, or I'm gonna have to call the authorities or something. Like,
good grief.
first of all, have you ever seen a cat on a leash?
That is definitely not a Park story. That is a Karen story.
That was a Karen.
That's
It's a Karen story.
Yeah.
And yeah, as I stated, she lived in close proximity to us, and she is the type that would post it on there, knowing
Yeah.
rather than confronting a person. It's just
Karens.
there's a lot. So anyway, trailer park story. We used to play. So normal houses have a foundation, as I'm sure you guys are
Trailers don't.
aware.
Can you please expand on that?
So your house is permanently affixed to the ground. Well, in a lot of, like a trailer park,
Not mine, dude. You gotta be ready to go anytime.
because the houses are
Anytime.
mobile. You wheel them in on a tractor trailer and put them in, and then take them out and stuff. People are moving in and out all the time. You keep your axles and everything in place, and the trailers in place. And so for the foundation, what you have is they call it skirting, which is just like vinyl siding, but it goes all the way to the ground. And so for us, we discovered that you could remove that skirting, and you have this awesome like fort underneath the house with all these like.
What was your skirting? Was it lattice?
No, it was literally like
solid
vinyl
board?
siding that was like snapped together. So we like
Okay.
unsnapped it and were able to get it up. But there was so much mold under there.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, dude.
Dead
And
bodies.
I remember my parents being like really angry at us whenever we would go under the house. But I just thought it was really cool to go under there. But anytime I smell mold, I think about like our fort under the house. So at the time, I thought it was just like completely normal and everything. And then looking back, it's like, yeah, that was a little trailer parky of. I had someone stole my skateboard wheels once, which I was bummed about because they were like Kryptonics.
There was a kid in our neighborhood who would do that.
Steal skateboard wheels,
But not skateboard wheel. They were the rollerblade wheels. So like everybody.
that's smart. You don't steal all four.
No.
This guy is Robin Hood.
Yeah, I mean, he still wanted to skate with his friends. You know.
Jerry, how do you have all four? I don't know.
Yeah. Absolutely. Do you have any? So actually, I just realized, and this is something we should have leaned into at the beginning, but I'm just now realizing we represent every class
No, we don't.
in the nation here.
This is good.
That's not true.
He's got a rags to riches story, but he started with rags, right?
Oh, for sure.
I was middle class my whole life.
Middle.
And we got dude. You know what's crazy? I was thinking about it. I give you crap all the time. My dad grew up in a country club. I come from you. I about threw up when I realized
Wait,
that.
your dad belonged to a country club, or his parents did?
His parents did, yeah. They were like Manassas, upper middle.
Yeah, we were Himmark at Gainesville. Oh shoot! Dang it, we're doxing ourselves.
Stupid.
Yeah, everybody knows where I was, Fairfax City. What's up, dude? Right off of Barlow Road, hit me up.
Yeah, we lived in a.
Shoot, I'm not afraid.
Yeah, come on now.
We had a few.
Little River Hills, let's go.
You had acres in Gainesville?
Sure did.
That is insane. When did you guys get rid of that?
Oh, it foreclosed.
We didn't so much get rid of it as
2008 was hard on everyone.
yeah.
Was that true? It really did foreclose?
Yeah, but that had more to do with my parents splitting up than anything. So
My parents stayed together, rags to riches.
they got remarried,
That's awesome.
To
I
each
love
other.
that story.
which is crazy. But we don't have to talk about it. We can go home.
No, let's dive deep.
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding.
You got your
Football
guitar?
this weekend.
Oh gosh.
Jaden Daniels against Lamar Jackson.
That is going to be awesome.
It's the marquee game of the season.
Are you a product of divorce?
No.
Wow.
I have a split family,
Can you define marquee?
but my parents stayed together.
Oh, my dude. The shade. Wow.
My mom brought in 2 kids into the marriage.
Gotcha.
And so I have 4 or 3 siblings, but it wasn't anything like
What does marquee mean?
It's like the biggest
The premier
game of the week, possibly the season. People are now bringing up Jaden Daniels as being the first rookie to win MVP of the league since Jim Brown in the 70s.
What?
Yeah.
I love this conversation. I love that they're already talking about him for that. But, we're in week 6.
I was going to say, we have a
Right
lot
now,
of time to screw up.
He's the 6th highest chance of winning MVP of the league in Vegas.
Wow.
So
We have so much time to screw up.
for sure. And
And choke.
we're playing the Ravens. He's going to snap his leg. But that's honestly the only thing.
Sorry.
If Jaden Daniels, the man, he's getting to the facility at 4 a.m. before anyone else.
Is he really?
Working out
Hope he
and
doesn't
doing.
wear himself out, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's what he was doing through college and everything as well. And so
17.
he's
Is it really?
Well, it's 18 weeks.
It's 18 weeks.
It must
But
have
one
changed.
by
17
You
games.
must have
now.
changed it last year.
It was
Dude,
like
I tried to
4
troll
years ago.
somebody on Bleacher Report. And it ended with me saying something about 16 games in the NFL season, and some guy was like, "Still don't know that they moved to 17 games." I was like, "Nope." I just got crushed.
Oh my god,
Take the L, go.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, my bad." Yeah, I don't know anything about this.
dude! The one time I've trolled anyone on any social media is on Bleacher Report, and this one guy every possible abbreviation. He had this long thing, and he just used every abbreviation that he could. So I just commented please abbreviate more. And then he said, "There's a character limit, idiot."
That's where you just stare at your phone, kind of okay. I lost that one. That's awesome.
So, with my fake profile on Facebook, I would try to stir up trouble just out and about in the wild,
Dude,
in the deep woods of.
I'd love
of
it.
the
I want a
internet.
fake profile
want
now.
more stories of this.
I
this
have-
is the best.
I have endless. Because I did this for a while, and I had so much fun. And I would get these badges from Facebook from being a top contributor and starting huge conversations. My comments would get sometimes, I don't know, 700 likes, and
I feel like top contributor is kind of a new thing. So this is within the last 5 years.
oh yeah. I mean, I'm not retired.
Coming to a neighborhood near you.
Yeah.
I don't have any plans to stop.
Yeah, I mean, they'll eventually find out that it's fake. But
Yep. 600
Just
likes.
move on to the next one.
yeah, so I would just make up these absurd things. There would be these. Have you ever come across that deep dark corner of the internet where the videos are of animals that are stuck in trees in horrible ways?
Oh,
or
Joe
something
Rogan loves
like
to
that.
share those.
And people are lifting them up with tractors, and you have to watch the process of them freeing them.
I can honestly say I've never.
You've never seen that? Well, that
It's brutal.
exists
That
on the
kind of
internet.
stuff.
There's a whole
Is
thing.
it cows?
Yeah, the one I'm specifically talking about is a cow. And I said, this is a stage. I just commented. I was trying to get angry. Whatever. I was like, this is staged. As a farmer of 43 years, I can say that there's no reasonable explanation for a cow to be that high in a tree. Right?
Dude, why have we not renamed our podcast to These Stories?
Well, so a storm breaks out, right? Of people being "Oh, in your experience, have you ever witnessed, whatever?" They're, because you get a bunch of people who are like, "Oh, this guy's legit."
Going to the guru.
He farmed for 40 whatever years. So they'll ask you questions, and I'll have to Google the answer, and give them accurate information.
Just picture
It just turns out to you helping people start farms.
Exactly.
your wife coming in the room. You're like, I'm busy.
That people have sent me after they found out that I used to troll. Used to, loose term. Of this dude
Trying to
who
keep
had
the habit.
7 laptops on his bed, and he's trolling all these different people. He's like, you've got them when they call your names.
So awesome.
So, did anything happen with the cow in the tree?
Oh, lots of things. Lots of things.
People just losing their
Yeah,
minds.
losing their minds. People are being like genuinely interested in information from me, and
So, I'm confused. There's a cow way up in a tree.
it's like its head stuck in the V of a tree.
Oh, so it is a natural thing.
Yeah, probably. It probably definitely happened.
And you're just saying this is a
Yeah,
fake.
I'm saying this is not real. There's no way this could be real.
Based in my experience.
Yeah, based on my experience.
It's a farmer for 43
4
years.
decades plus of experience. And so like other ones would be like this guy tried to save a puffer fish that was like floating on the water or whatever, and he was like trying to hold it and get it to deflate so it would swim away. Not I guess he didn't realize. Anyway, so I was like, it eventually did swim off, and I was like, there's no way, as a marine biologist of whatever 3 decades, and I'll say that fish didn't survive, because of the oils from the whatever.
Yeah. And this isn't just small things. You're writing paragraphs.
Oh yeah, like detailed analysis of what has been viewed in the video. I'll have to bring some in. Yeah, show the group.
The way that your brain
amazing.
works is you're a supervillain.
That's diabolical,
I
dude.
think I might be a supervillain. You could show me any video on YouTube and or Facebook, whatever, a reel, and I can figure out like I'll have an angle.
Dude, let's
We
make
should do
this
that
a
live
segment.
on the podcast.
Yeah.
Let's
We
do
should
this
do
as a segment every week. We'll project the computer screen up.
Or we'll post it right here.
I can't remember what the exact topic was of the video, but my uncle, who's like, he worked for BP and he's like a doctor. He's like not a medical doctor, but he's got his
He's a
doctorate.
doctorate.
Yeah, and he's like a genius. He's like a genius. There was some sort of oil thing that was going on the internet, and I actually sought his counsel on how to like talk about. I can't remember all the details. It's been probably 2 or 3 years.
You need to bring that one in for us.
Yeah, dude. It's a classic.
That's the best.
But anyway.
All right.
so-
well, I'm yawning, so I
Yeah,
think
me
we
too.
should.
Yeah, we should end this thing.
should cut
Did
it.
we even make it an hour? I apologize,
Oh, dude,
people.
we're
My
at an
energy
hour and a
levels
half.
were low tonight.
I think we're gonna cut a good 20 minutes out of this.
Okay.
No.
The beginning was rough.
This is the podcast,
Guys,
dude.
like and subscribe. Let us know what you think of the beginning 20 minutes.
And then we'll cut it after you've seen it.
And then if you don't like it, we will remove it.
I keep looking at this camera even though I know it can't see me.
That's interesting.
That
I'm not
is-
looking at any cameras because I was told don't look
Well,
at
I'm
the
just trying to
cameras.
do the Jim Halpert.
Hey, you
Yeah.
got your guitar, Steve?
Nope.
All right, Ben.
Guys,
I'm tired.
this week while you're out there, trolling is really not cool.
Do you have anything to provide, Steve? Like
I'm trying. I'm
a music
working
at
through
all?
it.
No, dude, don't.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I thought I was turning it down, but I turned it off.
Anyway, okay. Be blessed. Have fun out there. Thank you for listening. Sorry if it bored you a little bit, but we had fun. So, goodbye.
Towards the end, we had fun.
I had a lot of fun. The whole time, I like listening to podcasts that you listen to.
But this is things that you enjoy.
And properly named podcast. So, thank you.
Great drumming.
Good
Great
night.
drumming, Steve.